Hey y'all, welcome to Thursday. Alright, so just a heads up, today's vlog is going to be about Twilight and like literary concepts leading up and springing from it, so make your exasperated sighs now and turn this off if you don't want to be a part of it. As a disclaimer, I'm a self-titled Twilight patron, not a fan, because that would imply a positive bias, and I'm strictly neutral on this. I'm sort of like the Switzerland of Twilight, so no flaming, I take no side. I've been wanting to examine Twilight through an academic lens since I've read the books about a year ago, and honestly I think my professors would reject that kind of thesis in fear of millions of screaming 12-year-old girls chasing in after me searching for Edward Cullen, which is a legitimate fear, which brings me to my first point, which is why do 12-year-olds cream themselves over these books, and more importantly, why do scholars don't give it a chance? So it's rumored that many shy away from the books because Stephanie Meyer, the author, received very little formal literary training, which is true. But may I point out that Earnest Hemingway never even attended college and Mark Twain failed to graduate. Upon its initial publishing, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was called rough, coarse, inelegant, and dealing with a series of experiences not elevating, the whole book being more suited to the slums than to an intelligent, respectable base. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is the essential argument with Twilight, though instead of sinking towards the illiterate masses, it's being gobbled up by unapprised 12-year-olds. So if it's not, the content that people are reviling, is it the plot? For all intents and purposes, Twilight fits the definition of Harlequin romance, which is a genre in which the protagonist is so madly in love that he, or in this case she, just takes desperate measures to win over the object of her affection, which is the case with Edward and Bella wanting to become a vampire. So this type of love story is usually cheap and fast and quirky, which is why Twilight has so many jaded moms and housewives in its following, looking for a little more spice in their romantic life. Twilight also fits the romantic fantasy genre, which involves the focus on social relationships. The characters all find close friends, lovers, and other companions with whom they either live or travel, as well as a larger social circle where they all belong. In addition, many characters have significant ties with the larger world, which is representative of Bella's gradual, though difficult, initiation into the Cullen family, and with Jacob's tribe. Mercedes Lackey and Anne Rice are atypical of this genre, two other authors, and they're just as famous as Miss Meyer, but they're more well received by authors of a higher caliber. Hell is in the details, as Meyer lures readers in with a fantastic setup, but then fails to deliver. The Cullens are essentially a family of Mary and Gary Sues. The bad guys, the Volturi, could be rich with Gothic and Italian history, and yet only function as a plot device. Jacob's werewolves are wasted folklore, and Edward's repeated and morally fueled rebuttals of Bella's desire to be made undead are lost in one pillow-shredding, headboard splintering night of vampire sex. But that's really all people take from the books anyway, is the vampire sex. So is it really worth being this picky over? I don't know. But that's for you to decide. Alright, so if you guys want a really good vampire story that's not Twilight, I highly suggest reading Vampires in the Lemon Grove by Karen Russell, which I'll link to in the sidebar. It's about vampires who sustain themselves on lemons rather than human blood, and there's some other twists in there. And it's very parallel to Twilight, except it was written before Twilight, and it was written much better than Twilight, so read this one.